Alright guys, what's good? Mac Dad Gaming coming back at you with episode 3 of the Medieval Dynasty playthrough. The last day of spring is a rainy one. Bummer, 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 bummer. Alright, so let's see what the game plan is for this one. I want to finish off our first year here, or first year. A little ways to go till then. First season of spring, right? So the cool thing is we've already got a decent little starter village here. I mean, it's not just me. We got two houses, a woodshed, and a nice first villager, Taslao, or however you want to pronounce that, who, by the time we hit, I think, like 9 a.m., should start actually chopping down some wood or some trees for us. Now, you don't actually see him go and knock down some trees. Like, it's kind of cool. We don't lose any of the trees nearby. He doesn't really chop them down. He's eventually going to just go over to the wood station, kind of pretend he's doing something right here, and you're just going to notice a bunch of logs start stacking up right here. So I'm going to eventually want to have a resource storage, and it might honestly be something I end up building in this episode. I don't know for sure. It's not a major priority because the woodshed level 1 can actually hold 250 kilograms here, which I believe each log weighs two of them. So about 125 logs, which, I mean, it's going to take him 4 or 5 days to accumulate that amount anyway. So not a major need. Plus the amount I'll be using throughout too, right? So not a big concern. But honestly, what I'm going to jump right into, guys, and this definitely requires some experience for sure. I only have 8 bows, or 8 arrows, excuse me, I should say. Wait a minute, didn't I find some poisoned ones earlier? Yes, I did. This is going to make it a lot easier. So poisoned arrows are going to be a very good friend of yours. Did I equip those? Yes, I did. So we're going to start off taking down this bear with our 4 poisoned arrows. Now, another little tip of the, trick of the trade. Before you go into something pretty condemning like this, like trying to take out a freaking bear, I'm personally going to 100%, do a quick save here. That way when he possibly kicks my ass, I can just load right back up without having to worry about any issues. So I'm going to start off with these poisoned arrows. Oh, he is... Oh, wow. I completely just wasted one. And he is... Oh, boy. This is stupid. Oh, boy. Wait a minute. He's being weird, man. He's being weird. Oh, crap. Oh, yeah, they hit hard, by the way. This might be okay. All right, let's start this over again real quick. This is why we quick save, ladies and gents. This is why we quick save. Guy juked me out. All right, back at my quick save here. So the little trick that I was gonna try and do, I just didn't expect him to come freaking waddling out of the cave and like gliding along the edge there. Freaking tricked me up. Is honestly utilizing the rocks. This is like such a cheat code when it comes to taking down bears. If you can get up here, like on an edge that like he's just not gonna be able to get to, this is gonna make it so much easier. So he's gonna definitely try, and we're gonna see, because he might be able to get to me. Honestly, it depends on the situation and the area you're in. Yeah, he's coming up here pretty good. Knocked down here. Oh boy. All right, see, he's right here, and he's actually not getting me. This is crazy. I'm gonna just hit him right in the... Oh, you bitch. You just wasted a very important arrow. Gonna get him right in the body there. Alright, so the poisoned arrows... I'm gonna get him right in the head here. There we go. Poisoned arrows are gonna help me out here for sure. I want to get headshots in there. Those do some damage. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. Oh, what the hell just hurt me? Did he hurt me by falling on me? I've never noticed that. Oh my god, there's 2 of them. Oh, this is not good. This is not good. I did not expect there to be a second one behind me this entire time. Are you freaking kidding me? Shit. Alright, well, alright, well, if I can go get some more of my arrows, that would be helpful. Wow, what a twist. How did I not know there was freaking 2 of them in here? Damn. Alright, let me think about this. Alright, let's go over here. Let's drink one of my potions. Healing. That way if I try and skeet on down there and collect some more arrows, He doesn't come right at me and screw my day up. Alright, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's be swift about it. I'd love to get back to that location, because as you guys saw, that is my trick right there. Makes it super, super easy. Oh yeah, I got 2 of them. Maybe not quite enough, but let's just see real quick. I mean, a couple of headshots, man. Let's see if I can get a couple more headshots on them. Let's see. Get my arrows back up here. I only got 2 of them. I gotta be smart with this. I already got him in his like dominant freaking stance here. Where are you going? Where are you going? What are you trying to do? Oh, I don't know if I... There it is. Oh, whoa, whoa. Big jump at me. Big jump. Big jump. Grab these real quick. Right. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa. Where is he? Crap. I don't know where he is. Oh, he's over there. Alright, he's coming. Alright, we almost got this guy down, Baron. We almost got him. This is pretty crazy, man. Taking down 2 bears in your first spring is not entirely recommended. I mean, again, unless you have some ideas and some tricks of the trade, like utilizing the rocks, it's definitely tough. Alright, he's doing some crazy stuff over here. Let's just hit him right in the head while he pops his little head up. Come on. Where'd you go? Fucking playing me, man. There we go. There it is. Come on. One more shot. Let's get him. Alright. Wow. Okay. Start of the, well, the end of spring. And we have claimed our cave. So honestly, guys, again, utilizing some, you know, tricks around here. I think that's even realistic, man. If I was thinking in real life, if I had to freaking take down a bear, I mean, I know bears are pretty good at climbing, but being alongside a cliffside rock wall here, I mean, I don't think there's some ways to get around them that they can't get to you, if that makes sense. So, just trying to utilize the environment to our ability allows us to take down 2 bears. That was a crazy twist, by the way. Excuse me, I did not even think there would be a second bear in there. So a lot of bear spawns do usually have 1 or 2 bears, so it is normal for there to be 2, but again, this is a random thing that I have actually yet to ever run into myself. I have not just come across a cave and there be bears in it without it being like an actual bear spawn. So that definitely threw me for a loop for sure, but was pretty fun. And a great way to start us off, man. Did I lose all my bronze arrows, or are they stuck in these guys? Oh yeah, this bear's got a bronze arrow in there. So the thing I love about bears, you get a lot of materials from them. So look at the top left corner. When I rip this guy up, 30 fur and 80 meat. That's fantastic. I think I already did it to the other guy. Didn't even realize it. You also have a goat here. Like, where did you get a goat? There's not a goat anywhere near here, and they freaking brought one back to the cave. So we'll skin this guy up and get another 5 leather and 25 meat. Thank you very much. I'm going to run over here and actually grab, I think, a bronze pickaxe, some limestone. These are randomly generated things as well. I mean, not every cave is going to have a wagon outside of it. But the cool thing about caves, now that it's empty, I hope, I highly doubt there's a 3rd guy. Dang, there's more goats, though. That's pretty cool. Skin these up just for some more meat and leather. Not going to turn that down. So when you come across a naturally occurring cave like this one, they're not huge. They're not like crazy big, but it's only for you, if this makes sense, right? It's like I myself can come in here, you know, with an axe and mine this salt, you know, mine this tin, and there is some copper somewhere in here as well. There we go. So I can come in here and clean this whole place out, but later on in the game, I can actually come into my extraction, and the last thing here requires quite a bit of technology in the building department is a actual mine. So a mine can be placed on a cave like you see here. That now allows you, just like we have our buddy Taslaw, you know, cutting down logs, a mine now allows you to get up to 6 villagers cutting, you know, knocking at some ore for you during the day. and collecting all of that for you. It's 100% something we're going to shoot for, and I will have happening in this playthrough as soon as possible for sure. It also makes the mine a lot bigger. That's something else to note. So right now, you're only going to have salt, iron, or salt, copper, and tin. But when you do turn it into a mine, you actually unlock, it makes the cave a lot bigger for one. So like right now it's, not crazy big as we go through it. Like there's some dead ends, things like that. I think it'll probably be one big circle or something. Um, but it's just these three ore and it's not crazy big. Once we do turn it into an actual mine, it is going to unlock iron for us and then a lot more other ore in general, like the tin, salt, and copper, and it will be a lot bigger. If you notice there, I also just got a little subtly lost. um, when you install the mine, it actually makes it look a lot more like lived in and used, and it actually puts up little signposts that direct you towards the entrance and the exit, which is very much appreciated because yeah, once you have a mine in there, it will be very confusing and you can get lost very, very easily. So anyhow, we claimed the cave, guys. That's fantastic. Honestly, the fact that there was one bear in there was already pretty freaking crazy to see. But the second bear, that was funny, man. I'm glad I was in a position that he was hitting me from behind a little bit. But God, that was funny. Did not expect that. What a little twist of the century. So I'm just gonna start placing some more road, kind of heading down this little area here. This is definitely where I want to kind of have the main road of the village, if that makes sense. I'm definitely gonna want it to be, an easily accessible getting into the cave here for sure. Again, I love having roads. I think it's just such a nice way to really tie together a village. Again, even a just brand new village, already having a road just makes it look more realistic and put together. So have a nice path leading up to the cave here because we will for sure have people working in here as soon as possible. Another thing I'd love to get going at some point is the excavation shed, but I do have to do some more building to unlock that. The excavation shed is kind of the starter to the mine, if that makes sense. It's a whole separate building. And all it allows, if you read on the bottom there, it does allow workers to provide stone, straw, limestone, clay, and copper ore. So in the mine, there's much more, right? Like tin and iron and salt. So eventually you will want the mine, but having the excavation shed is still super helpful because collecting stone, when you get later on in the game, building, stone houses are going to require 76 stone per house, and that's the smallest house. The medium-sized house is 92, and the biggest is 108. So we'll get into that later on. Another thing that's fun too is when you get into God, I am freaking losing where I'm trying to be here. What am I looking for? Buildings. Nope. Back. That's why I'm an idiot. Those are the buildings. Fences. Eventually, we're going to build some fences and some stone fences. We're going to require a lot of stone as well. So it'll definitely be important to have that for sure. Looking at the village, I think to finish off, this season, another thing I really prioritize right now is, I'm going to be very honest with you guys, I'm going to build another woodshed and try and get one more villager in here, to, of course, help collect the logs. I'm telling you guys, you're going to need it. At some point, my goal is to usually have 4 villagers going at the woodsheds at a time. So right now, what I'm actually going to do is go over here. I want to build another woodshed real quick. At some point, I'm going to turn these both into woodshed number 2s, because that will definitely allow me to have 2 villagers at each one. But for now, I'm going to need 2 of them just to have 2 villagers doing this job. So if we go over here, we actually see some logs appearing. If we open up this chest, he's already got 16 logs in there. So that's what I mean. This entire time when we were taking down bears, this dude was over here freaking collecting logs already for us. So very, very nice, and we do love that. So let's run around here, grab some stone for us real quick. Already building up some survival level as well, which is nice. There we are, 8 stone. Throw this down. I already have a few logs on me, so let's use those real quick. And just for the hell of it, this is what we pay the guy for. I'm gonna grab all those stone. use those to finish this off very quickly. So boom. Now I have a second woodshed. I'm going to come in here and place that other copper axe I think I found. I'm going to give him the better one though, actually. So then that way he's ready to go at this once we get someone else in there. So now, I'm going to tie all this together here. This looks good. Boom. Now we have two woodsheds right next to each other. Kind of going to be like the lumber yard, if you will. So what I'd also like to do is get another house built. I want it near here, right? So I think what I'm going to actually do is have this kind of going right off of the main road. So there'll be a couple entrances into this place. I got this guy's house right there, which totally makes sense. But like I was saying before too, I love the idea of ocean view houses, and there's nothing wrong with having another, guy that works in the lumber yard have a nice house right here on the water, right? All he has to do is pretty much walk out his door, and you can look out his window and see the lumber yard, kind of tie it right in there. So that's going to be perfect. Again, it is very smart, by the way, to have the villagers living close to their jobs. You really want to try and prioritize that. So while you're putting together your village, like I did say in the first video, I'm not like too intentional right now or where everything's going, but I also kind of am, right? Like things can be moved, but as you really start to build out this village, it's going to get a little annoying, having to move things later on. So ideally, I do want to try and be a little intentional. So like these houses, like that guy's house and this house, I'm most likely going to end up keeping these in these locations. I don't see why not. I do like them. My overall house, I probably will end up moving. If I end up keeping it, it's just going to be for another villager at some point, and I'll make my, ultimate house somewhere else for sure. Real quick, if you notice, I just got a little poisoned while I was eating. So kind of realistic. If you're eating while dirty, you're going to make yourself sick. So on the bottom left there, the thing on the bottom right is my actual, filth meter, if you will. So my guy's actually pretty dirty right now. If you go down here, your dirtiness is 51%. Easiest way to clean yourself is just run into a body of water as deep as you can go, and you'll notice that go away pretty fast. So pretty much just gave myself a basic little bath right there, and now if I were to eat some more food, I wouldn't get sick. Alright, so what I'm going to do real quick is I'm actually going to skip ahead here while I collect all the resources to build this second house. Alright, perfect. I found a couple of my copper arrows. I think I shot those at that wolf earlier and I kept missing. So again, I highly recommend utilizing inspector mode is pretty often. You'll definitely find some things you might have misplaced or lost before, but I should have enough things here to actually get this house built up. Again, let's give this man a nice, beautiful ocean view. Definitely want that. Don't really need him looking off over at the other house there. Little side view right here. This will look nice. There we go. And we unlocked a simple house. So one thing that I like to do personally is, let me show you guys something real quick. Let me get this finished up. So if you remember at the start, wow, only 2 more logs needed. Let me check. I bet you my boy has at least chopped down 2 more logs for me. Actually, 7 of them. Perfect. Let's snag those real quick. Run back in here, and boom. There we go. So let's go over to the management tab. I want to show you guys something. So if you go over to your buildings and you drop down here, you're going to see the tax icon. So the smallest houses, and it's a simple small house. I can't remember if the tax goes up when you upgrade it all the way to stone. But for example, right now it's $2.5, right? So we got $7 here that we have to basically be paying tax every single year. Now, eventually, you're going to get into the thousands of dollars of tax due every single spring. So me personally, as there are 3 different houses you can build, I make all my villagers live in these small stone houses because it's enough space that a man and a wife can live here and procreate to make 1 child each. If you were to build any of the other size houses, if you notice on the bottom there, the little people symbol will go from 3 to 4 for the other 2 houses. So they're definitely much bigger, and they do have 1 extra bed, and I believe the villagers can actually have up to 2 kids. And honestly, it just gets too crazy, and it's just also more taxes. So it's definitely something that I don't care to have. I'll make a bigger, house for me for sure, but for my actual villagers, I stick with the simple houses to save on taxes and to kind of mitigate, the growth in the village. They can all just have 1 kid, and that's fine. So real quick to kind of try and finish off this day here, since I have the other woodshed and I have the other house, I'm gonna run over to our neighboring village here and go to Clonica. So the sun is going down. We are about to finish off spring, our first spring here, which has gone quite well. I'm actually not going the right way at all. I'm gonna just jump across this way, but I'm gonna skip through real quick, and I'll see you guys here when I get to Clonica. All right, here we are coming up on Clonica, our neighboring village. We probably are going to come here a few times, that's for sure. So the cool thing about the game is well, you know what, I'm going to save a lot of that for later on in our playthrough. The main thing we are looking for in Clonica is I want to get all the way to the other side of the village so I can find the campfire and get some more recruits. Let's get on over there. Fingers crossed, we got 1 man here with a level 3 extraction. Not always the case, so it is kind of a bummer when you come looking and neither of them or any of them have level 3. Thank God for Sully Rod, he does. I'm just going to check out the other guys for fun. Ooh, and same with this guy, look at that. He's also 29 years old though, so I mean he's pushing 30. Sad to say, that's how old I am, so I feel you, brother, I feel you. But this fella, nice and young, 18 years old, got 10 years on that other guy, 11 years on the other guy. I want him in my village. Young, hungry, ready to go. There it is, Sully Rad. Alright, I didn't put any actual food in his house yet. Shame on me. Forgot to do that like I did for my other buddy. But at least he'll have a roof over his head. I'm also going to get him working at the other woodshed. And I'm going to jump over to the other woodshed here as well real quick. That way I know for sure that come the start of summer, he gets to work as soon as possible. I want logs, man. I'm telling you, it's the lifeblood of the whole village, is making sure you have plenty of logs for all your buildings, for firewood, for planks. You really want a lot of logs. I mean, having 4 of these guys at some point is going to be super helpful, and you'll still run out of logs. Like, not even kidding. So, alright, I have 2 of my extraction guys. Sully Slaw, however you want to say his name, is also a level 3, and even though he's pushing 30, I might end up recruiting him pretty soon as well. Once I get the extraction shed set up, I will absolutely want someone pushing that. Really quick, before it does become full-on sundown here, I'm going to jump into a couple of these houses. Oh, of course, this one has nothing I want, but I do want to actually try and do some quick thievery here. I really want some more firewood. Ooh, wow, copper knife, spear, firewood, fur, and leather. That was a good find. Thank you for this guy. I don't know why my game gets... I think it's while recording. The game gets pretty laggy when I'm in the villages. I have to figure something out about that. Not a big issue right this second. Put some perspective on it, guys. I'm literally playing this game on a MacBook Pro. This game is not designed for Mac, by the way. I actually use the program Crossover to play it, so definitely not a gaming computer, but I'm making it work, man. Here, a bronze axe. That is huge. That's very good to find. I love a bronze axe, man. Of course, it's the step below iron, but it's going to be a step above copper. That'd be nice. All right, also a little word of the wise. If there's a sleeping person in the house, do not steal. Sleeping people, they apparently can tell. They know when you steal. And I don't want to risk losing any of my Dynasty reputation right now because I don't have a lot. And that's how you actually recruit people into your village. So I want to make sure I'm not wasting that, right? So right now I only have 200 of this. And eventually, If I go and try and recruit a third person right now, I actually think they'll turn me down because I don't have enough reputation. They're going to be like, I don't know you, man. You're a little sketchy. So we want to make sure we keep an eye on that, and we don't want to be stealing in front of people because, yeah, I'm not trying to lose that. But real quick, a last little trick of the trade here and thing I want to share with you guys is in Clonica. So here we are in Clonica. If you run off over here, I don't remember exactly where it is. I think it's off over here. Yep. So if you follow, you go out into the village. There's a little herbalist shed right there, and you run down over here. Because there's actually something else I was looking for, but I need more buckets and water skins so I can make sure my villagers have water. There are a ton of them right here on this little kind of peninsula island, if you will, in Clonica. So come over to this little island in Clonica, and you will find a bucket, some water skin, another water skin, some more buckets, and another water skin. So what we got? 3 water skin and 5 buckets right here for free that nobody saw me steal. Nobody's over here. So I found that in one of my playthroughs, and it's actually super, super helpful because you do need a workshop to be able to build those items. And obviously that's something we don't have right now. So finding them for free without anyone noticing is very helpful. This is their little lumber yard. I'm 100% going to steal a bunch of this stuff. If you've noticed, we've gathered like a bunch of logs and even axes from this place so far. And that is very, very nice to have because I do need to make sure my little villagers have axes to get to work. So real quick, I know it's pretty much nighttime. I'm going to try to run back over to my village before we have the turn of season. So also good thing to know, if you're away from your house and the season does change, luckily it actually teleports you to your house when you get into the new season there. So not an issue if you are away from your house when the season's about to change. But to finish off this episode, I'd like to get back to my village and place some of those things I just stole and make sure my 2 villagers are happy and add them. So I'm going to skip real quick as I run back over to my village. So be right back. All right. We are back. It is 9:15. Doing pretty good on timing. That was perfect timing. So, all right, real quick. So I got to go to the houses manually, right? Neither of them actually have firewood. This guy doesn't even have food or water. So let me go over to my well real quick here. I just want to tackle all these things before I end the video and we finish off with spring. So I'm going to fill up all these buckets of water. I'm also going to fill up my water skins. So in other words of the wise, water skins are more efficient for sure. Later on in the game, I want to try and have more water skins than buckets because the villagers will actually take longer to drink through the water in the water skins than they will the bucket. The buckets of water will be more necessary for when you start like, baking, like cooking things in your kitchen. You will need buckets of water, but the villagers, they prefer the water skins. That just makes a lot more sense. So I'm going to go into his house here, and I'm going to give him, let me find where the water skins are. Boom, boom, boom. I'm going to give him one of them. I'm going to give him 1 rye bread. Definitely throw in some dried meat there. And then honestly, a couple of buckets of water. And then thankfully, when I was doing some stealing, I got plenty of firewood. I'm going to give him 10 of them. And then real quick, before the season changes, I'm going to cook all of my meat. I did forget that one rookie mistake was actually, hold on, no. So here's another tip for you guys. I'm not going to cook the meat because I completely forgot to build a food storage this season, which usually is a pretty big priority that I would have done. But I'm going to do that in summer. So another trick for you guys is the meat is going to lose some quality by switching the seasons. However, if I cook it, if I leave it raw right now, it's going to lose quality. But if I cook it next season, the quality will jump back up to 100%. So I'm going to actually leave all that meat raw because next season I can cook it and then the quality will be back to 100%. So keep that in mind, and we will absolutely be building a food storage and probably a resource storage next episode, just to really start getting this building, this village a little more automated and easier to store some, actual food and things like that. So I'm going to give this guy one of those other water skins as well. I'll keep one on me to make it easy, but now both of the villagers should be pretty set with food and firewood. I'm going to make sure they both have axes as well, since I have a few of them. I'm going to give him 2 of them here, and then run over here and give him 2 of them as well. Give him that one and that one. I'm going to break this one eventually, and then I have a nice bronze axe that I'm going to be using afterwards, so I'll be fine. So let's change the season, man. Obviously, it'll happen automatically if I don't do anything and I just keep running around, like I mentioned. It'll teleport me back to my house. But since I'm right here, I'm just going to sleep and head right into the season. So let's open up summer, see if anything happens, and then we'll end our episode here. Beautiful. All right. Here we are in summer. Things aren't as beautiful. A lot more hot, but it is what it is. All right, guys, perfect. I'm going to end the video here. MacDad Gaming. In the next episode, we'll definitely start tying together this village, make it a little more automated, throw down a food storage, and, the easiest way to get that unlocked, building a resource storage, just making it a bit easier so I no longer have to manually place these items in each person's home, because, of course, as we start to grow, that's going to get annoying. But see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching.